All right, welcome back everyone to another episode of Gotta Be Legend Live, Gotta Be Legend TV. And today, of course, is another episode of AGO, where the gamer's opinion. Today, of course, is January 20th, 2021. And today, it's going to be a bit different, right? We do normally go ahead and talk about news and things that we see throughout the course of the week. But today, we're going to talk about a game in particular, right? The game that I heard about maybe about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, perhaps a game that I think has a lot of potential, right, to dethrone Destiny, right? Personally, I've been a huge supporter of Destiny. Anyone that knows me and knows the channel knows that the roots of this channel were laid upon by Destiny, right, way back in 2014. And so Destiny, of course, is a game that I have a love hate relationship with. Had a lot of potential. Hate the way that it was put about, really. So a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, he's going to be on the show actually. His name is Seth Rothevil. He's going to be here to talk about Outriders with me. He put me onto this game, and after seeing what I saw, right, the gameplay videos, learning about the game, I truly believe that this game does have a chance to take some viewers, right, or take some, of that player base, right, from Destiny. And it looks cool. It's made by people that worked on Gears of War Judgment. Also, I believe also some Division, if I'm not mistaken. But I know for a fact that Gears of War Judgment for sure. Right, there is a cover system. Um, you're gonna see. I mean, you're gonna see. It looks really good. It's put together by a developer by the name of People Can Fly, published by Square Enix. Right, one of the most recognized top tier RPG publishers out there. Of course, Square Enix did put out the Avengers, which, believe it or not, it's a dead game. It's a flop. But this is a bit different, right? And I think that this game honestly has a lot of potential. I hope it does succeed. I do need a different game to play, right? That is sort of an MMORPG, and it is a third person shooter, right? To me, Destiny, like I said, I've been playing Destiny for a long, long time, and fuck that game. That's how I feel about Destiny. Fuck that game, man. Seriously. So I think that, Outriders has a very good chance. I think it should succeed. I think it will succeed in that aspect, right? In what they're trying to achieve. It may not become a commercial success, but I think it will be one of those, under the radar games that has the potential to blow up. So we're gonna go ahead and link up with our friend right now, Seth Rothevil. All right, Seth, you there?
Yep.
What's
Yep.
up,
I'm
bro?
here.
We're live,
What's up,
man.
man?
I'm good,
Oh,
man.
that's
You?
cool. I'm here. I'm alive. Just living the dream. Another day, another dollar.
Yeah. Fucking A, right?
Yep.
All right, so you actually were the person that put me on to Outriders, right? So
Yep.
what caught your attention with this game, right? What because obviously, like I said, we were just talking about how, Destiny was that game that we were really banking on, had the potential, but it just wasn't done the right way, and it suffered. And you, of course, brought this to my attention. You brought, Outriders to my attention, and you had told me it's, probably going to be considered the Destiny killer. So you, of course, being a person that has played Destiny and and has a lot of experience in RPGs, MMOs, dating back over 25 years, what is your opinion on Outriders? What do you think it will achieve, and do you think that it can replace that player base in Destiny?
Yeah. Outriders really reminds me of Smash Bros. I mean, definitely. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing. I'm just messing around here. So basically, I think that Outrider does have that potential. Honestly, one of my other friends told me the game. I looked into it. I saw the gameplay. Um, it reminded me. It had different mechanics of different games. It kind of reminds you a little of Gears of War. I don't know what engine they're running, but I think they're running the Unreal Engine. Definitely, gunplay seems nice. I think the problem with Destiny was, besides the developers, what was that guy's name? I can't even remember the guy's name.
Cliffy B
The that dude, the one who told us to throw the money on the screen. Remember that guy?
from what? From Destiny?
from Destiny. Remember him?
Oh, Luke
What was
Smith.
his? Luke Smith. People like him. I guess they kind of tarnish, the game itself. Um, don't know how much involvement they have because we're not there. But
Right.
according to community and all that other stuff, they come out with these stories or whatever. And but I mean, I think like Luke Smith is the one of the prime suspects for making Destiny so weird, I guess, or losing its popular base or whatever. But with Outriders, you know, the developer team is pretty straightforward. I mean, I read some other articles. I haven't. There's not really much about it because it's not getting a lot of PR. But they seem pretty transparent. They're giving you a full game. There's that's what they're saying. That's what their main pitch is. They're giving you a full game. There's
Mm-hmm.
no microtransactions. It's not day-to-day service or whatever this called nowadays. When they have to drip feed everything. They're getting the whole package from day one. Um, and to me, that reminds you of how games used to be. When you bought a game, it came already all together. You didn't have to wait, for next year to it to get fixed or whatever, or it works out the box. Not like
Mm-hmm.
some games like Cyberpunk, but you know,
Cyberpunk. We're watching you.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and they knew it sucked. I mean, what they didn't. Well, I can't say it sucks because I mean, their story. Everybody says the story is great, but it's just not an operating game. It's not. It doesn't operate. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's
So
half-assed.
it's half. Yeah. They needed an extra year for some reason or whatever happened. Who knows? I'm not gonna speculate and say like, oh man, they were just swimming in money, but they lied. They caught lying apparently. They who knows how far they lied. Maybe they lied to their investors too. Maybe they're gonna. I think they're getting a lawsuit or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just but whatever.
Yeah, it's
I
a
think
mess.
I think the game would. Yeah, it's a mess. So I think Outrider would definitely. I think it's gonna be good. I'm not gonna overhype it and say, guys, this is but I think definitely it's gonna get ahead of Destiny. I can see that, because it's gonna be a full game. It's gonna come with all the extra bells and whistles. I think it has that end of game content already also packaged in the game, so you don't have to wait. I
You
don't
don't have
know
to wait for a
a
raid to be
year.
released. It's already in the game. Like, well, it's not gonna be a
Yeah,
raid,
it's
but
already.
it's already there.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be like a strike but bigger. I guess that's the best way I can describe it, or a riff, like a Diablo riff. It's
Mm-hmm.
like it's gonna be like depending on your tier level. So
And that was a
so
great thing about
definitely
Diablo, right? I mean, it was already in there, and then it just progressively got harder and harder to play, right? So,
right.
you
Yeah.
didn't need something to be added. You just had continuous content that you could just keep playing, right? And you not have to wait for something new to come. There's already something there, and the more you proceed, right, the more you progress in the game, the better items you're gonna get, and it just more replayability, right? Because now you're just playing for that one drop, right?
Right, and that usually makes people focus. Like now you have a goal.
Exactly.
Which like who knows if they're gonna be certain drops, kind of like Diablo 2, or certain bosses will drop certain items. So now you have a goal for the game. To make that perfect build or whatever your end game mindset is. Well, now you have it. Versus like in Destiny, you had to go through the light level. That was a whole goal. It didn't matter about your gear; it didn't matter about your light level unless you did the raid, and they came up with these two little items, right, for the raid only.
Hmm.
Like, oh, you do, I don't know, your weapons of light, and you create more orbs,
and then and then they and
something
then they
like that.
become obsolete, right? And then they become mostly obsolete. I mean,
Yeah.
some items still have some value depending on the stats, but overall,
Mm.
most of those items just become obsolete after the next DLC, right? I mean, and it's something that I even posted about, when I had heard about the game. The one thing that really killed me about Destiny, and this is something I wrote to the developers of Outriders, right? Because I'm sure some people that are watching this already know that they have an ambassador program. So I spoke to my friend Seth here, and I was like, hey man, I might as well send an email too. And I wrote that there, and I said, the one thing about Destiny was you spent all this time grinding out the game just so that when the DLC comes out, everybody's on the even playing field again. So you got to do it all over
Right.
again, and then those items become obsolete. So it's kind of dumb, It's kind of pointless that whole grind, all those hours spent, all those months played. I mean, you could just play a month, get a few items here and there, get some of your money's worth, and then just chill for the next 6 months and wait for the next DLC to drop, and then start it all over again. Which is why you see the spiking in the numbers, right? The way the numbers in Destiny go up and down, right? You'll have people playing for the first month and a half, and then afterwards it just drops, and then when a new DLC comes back, it goes back up. And it's something I had mentioned to someone in the Discord, right? In the Outriders official Discord, I said, that's the definition of insanity, man. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. I mean, I don't have time for that anymore, man. I'm too old for that. And that's
Right.
just crazy,
Yep.
man. Like, why would I keep doing this? I mean, I've been doing this since the first game. I've been playing Destiny since the alpha. You as well. And I mean, fuck, man. I don't got time for that shit no more, man. I want to be able to play the game and have a complete experience, not have to play the game for a few months, then get burnt out. And, oh, cool, there's a new DLC. Let me download it. And it's also my fault as well, and other people's fault as well, that we invested all this money into this game before anything, right? We bought the premium editions and all that other shit, and we get all these DLCs up front, but we're not even playing it. Like Destiny's not even installed on my computer anymore, and I already have pre-purchased the next two expansions. So I mean, I already gave my money. So I mean, like, that's the problem. And at least with
Throwing
this
that
game,
money to that screen, bro.
yeah, bro, I threw my money at the screen, and I wish I can get it back, man. And it's too late. And it's also my fault, and it's also other people that do the same thing, right? It's also our responsibility. It's also our fault. We should have learned that lesson. But it's that thing that you want to see a game succeed, a game that you invested so much time in, right? You don't want to see it go that way. But sometimes you just have to cut the
Right.
cord and be like, man, you know what? Fuck this game, man. This game ain't shit no more. And that's my hope with Outriders. I'm not sure if you can see. Can you see my screen that I'm sharing with the FAQ?
Yeah, I can see your mouse and everything. Yep.
All right, so yeah, so like what we were talking about, right? The most important thing, I guess, about this is, I think it's down here somewhere. Give me a minute. All right, so yeah, games as a service, no. Microtransactions, no. It's gonna be a full game. No, Outriders will only require a one-off purchase of the game. So what I'm saying? Like, it's gonna be that one game where everything is gonna be in the box as soon as you get it, and that's super important nowadays, right? Because everything nowadays is just buy this game and then wait a few months and then we'll put out a new season and you'll get new gear and then all this other shit, right? I mean, we see so many different games doing it, right? For example, Diablo does it, but it's free. The seasons are always free. However, games like Destiny, they kinda, I mean, it's kind of free, kind of not, especially if you already buy the whole package up front, right? The whole bundle and all that shit for the rest of the years. I mean, you already have it all in there. But games like Call of Duty, it's not. Every season you still have to pay. And you can start progressing through the season, but in order to unlock all of that stuff, you have to pay those $10. And I understand it's only $10. If you actually do it once, if you complete a whole season once, after paying for it, and you keep doing that and you keep playing that game, you'll have enough, Call of Duty points to keep purchasing the seasons, but you're going to have to pay at least once. And then it's also going to depend on, how much time you invest in this game. Like, is it your main game, or are you somebody that, like myself, right, that I like to play all kinds of games. I play all kinds of games. Like, it's really hard for me to really focus on one particular game. I mean, for that to happen, it has to be a game that's already complete, right? Because then, for example, like I said with Diablo, so many people still play that game because it's already a complete game. Everything they just add in there is just free, so it just keeps giving you that free grind. So it's not like a game like Destiny where you can just chill and then 6 months later install the DLC and you're caught up again. You might have missed out
Right.
on items, but who cares? Because they're sunsetting those items anyway, so you can't even fucking use them. So who cares, right? It's
And
stupid.
they're not even playing like Diablo 3. They're still playing like Diablo 2 still. You know what I mean? They're still grinding that one out, and that was been out for ages.
That shit's been out for 20 years, bro.
Mm-hmm.
20
You
years.
know,
It's insane.
an, another I see it as a perk for the game for Outriders is that they also said that the game is not going to put you in a position where you're going to need a party. You can solo it. It's going to be hard, but it's doable. You can
Yes.
solo it. So I mean, you're not going to have to be forced to enjoy that. You won't have that roadblock
And
like they had in Destiny and other
and there's
games.
matchmaking. That's the one thing that, man, like when I saw that shit, I was like, wow. Because the main issue a lot of people have with fucking Destiny is that the raids have no matchmaking. So you have to play with
You have
people
to use
you
a
know.
third party.
Or a third party, right? They're looking for group. And
Yeah,
the one thing
that was annoying.
that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard, man. Because so if you're the type of person that likes to play games solo or with a small crew, maybe two other friends. I mean, now you need three more people to do the raid. I mean, you could do it with three, but it's gonna be hard, right? I mean, and then you need to have it full, I think, too, right? In order to start it. So that's the thing, like. Like I think the fact that because here in Outriders they're gonna have those expeditions, right? Like we see here, right? Can I adjust the difficulty of the game? Outriders features up to 15 different world tiers, which strongly changes the way the game is played and experienced. While world tiers will adjust to your playstyle as you progress in order to keep the game challenging, you can also change your world tier manually according to your preferences, right? So there's gonna be a lot of replayability, meaning that the tougher the tier, right, the better gear you're gonna get. And that's something you're going to progressively grind towards. It's not like, the first day you're going to put it on the max, difficulty. No, you're not going to be able to do that. Right? So, and the fact that, if you happen to play by yourself, if you're a solo player, like you said, right? At least you have the matchmaking option. So you always have someone to play with. And the fact that it's a cross-play game, that means somebody's always going to be online playing. So I don't know, man. I just think that this game has a lot of potential. I'm glad that you brought it up to me and you showed me it because I think it's gonna be awesome, and I'm gonna at least get to the videos. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people want to see what's gonna be about, so let's at least get some gameplay on there so we can see. So we're gonna start here where it says what is Outriders. So we're gonna start right here.
Should we do like the overhyped and stuff, like scream and yell and stuff? When they show something cool.
I mean, if you want to scream and yell when they show something cool, then by all means, go ahead and scream and yell, bro.
What is
All right, so let's check it out.
Well, like I said, it's a looter shooter set in a brand new sci-fi world, but we're not heading to those colorful, quirky planets. Oh no, Outriders takes a much darker approach to the genre, and it all starts with the fall of mankind.
Okay.
Earth is in shambles, and the humans are searching the stars for a new lease on life. Enter Enoch, a promising planet that looks to have everything humans need to start life anew. Unfortunately, as any good sci-fi fan knows, curiosity got the better of our wayward explorers. An anomaly discovered while searching the planet sent a pulse of energy across Enoch, destroying nearly everything except the Outriders. Rushed to cryotanks, the only hope left to save the afflicted.
So they pulled off. So they pulled off a Master Chief, basically. What do you think? They're in cryo tanks.
Yeah, it looks like it.
They practically pulled off a Master Chief.
The other thing that that we should mention also is that this game is definitely taking elements from like not just Destiny, but you have like it has like an Anthem feel to it also. Remember when Anthem was first introduced, how they introduced it and stuff, So it has that little vibe to it as well. I like that mechanical type, grungy cyber stuff, So that's pretty cool, I think that's pretty dope.
Yeah, it looks very futuristic, right? And we're talking about maybe 1,000 years into the future, perhaps. And I've seen some of these videos, right? So even like the design of the characters, it's sort of dark, but it's very like futuristic Gears of War like. And Gears of War is in the future, right? I think it's the year 2300 or some shit like that. And it's got that feel to it, So I like it. I like the design. We're gonna watch more about it, so let's just go get back to it.
The world looks a lot different, and this is where the story of Outriders truly begins. When we awaken from our self-imposed slumber, the world of Enoch looks
so 30 years after.
War has broken out, and the creatures that once roamed the planet peacefully are now mutated into hulking, bloodthirsty beings. As an Outrider, you'll have to deal with them all. The Insurgents, or Exiles as they call themselves, are rival factions scattered across Enoch. War with the Insurgents is a bloody and brutal affair, and because the anomaly knocked out all advanced electronics, the fighting has reduced to trench warfare. When you're not fighting your fellow man, you'll be dealing with the Plethora.
Looks like fucking Birkin right there, bro. Look at it. What do you think? Looks like fucking William Birkin, man. Looks like I'm fucking fighting Tyrant or some shit, And that's crazy.
Yeah, it does.
It does, man. It looks just like fucking William Birkin, bro.
Race of creatures that swarms in packs and has been transformed into deadly killers. Plethora come in all shapes and sizes, but one thing is clear: they never hunt alone.
All right, so let's go.
Now, I
Looter
think it's
shooter's
important
done
we
right.
take a step back and really look at what the developers are trying to accomplish with this game. First and foremost is a compelling narrative. Outriders is supposed to be a story unfolding in real time. The team touts a 25 to 40 hour campaign full of cinematic moments, fully voiced cutscenes, and much more. If players opt to do everything the game has to offer, side quests and all, the team claims that players will be able to sink upwards of 100 hours into the title. As an Outrider, your job is to find the source of a strange signal. The anomaly knocked out all advanced electronics, your fancy doodads are useless, but your guns, your vehicles, and your powers are locked and loaded.
Man, have you seen the guns? I got a video here of the guns. Man, that shit looks crazy. It definitely looks like Gears of War, like Locust kind, right? Locust guns, but yeah, it looks dope, man. The gun design, man. You guys are gonna see. I have the video here, so stick around. We're gonna show it later on, but yeah, it looks really good, man. Definitely.
Did I mention you have powers now? Outrider's second guiding principle has to do with the combat. Players can expect snappy, satisfying gunplay, the likes of which are seldom seen in third-person games.
Gears of War,
Throw
man.
in a concoction of supernatural abilities, and you've got yourself one hell of a combat system. Unlike most other games, there are no health potions, no bandages to heal yourself. The team intentionally pushes players to dish out damage to stay in the fight. It's a thrilling change we're excited about and should really push the pace of the game. There's a character customization feature, but ultimately you'll play as one of 4 classes. The Pyromancer, a medium-range ticking time bomb that taps into fire abilities to set foes ablaze. The Trickster, a close-ranged assassin that bends time and slices foes to smithereens with strange magic.
That's like the Destiny Hunter right there, right? What do you think? The Trickster, he looks so much like the Hunter.
Smithereens with strange.
Definitely does. Yep.
Right?
Magic. The Devastator, a close-range specialist that taps into earthly forces to sunder foes and fight on the front lines. And finally, the Technomancer,
I like Technomancer,
a long-range support class that
dope.
manages to twist the anomaly into incredible technology. Each of these 4 classes brings something vastly different to the table, and each comes with 8 abilities that you can change on the fly. During combat, players can hot swap any of their abilities so long as they aren't on cooldown, ensuring that there are always options to explore no matter what.
See that guy's still hanging there, bro. Wow. You see that shit? That's crazy, man. Like, the level of gore in this game, I think, is what's really going to draw a lot of attention, right? Because Destiny is a very colorful game, right? And even though this game, if you've seen, you know, when you shoot people, it has those, you know, those hit points, just like in the Division, right? But the Division is more of a realistic sort of game, right? This is more of a fantasy sort of game, but with that, you know, it allows you to take things to the next level, right? And you can have this sort of gore. And I think the gore, man, and the level of violence in this game, I mean, you have a spike coming out of the ground and impaling this dude from under his chin. You know, like, that's crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the level of gore is what's really going to draw this game to a lot of people, I think. You know, it's a mature game, you know?
Situation, and by design, they're meant to be used a lot. You won't find many long cooldowns in Outriders, and again, that's to push the pace of the game. We'll be breaking down each of the Outrider classes in an upcoming video designed to help you make your class choice come launch. If you're interested in that video, please...
Alright, yeah. If anything, go ahead and subscribe to Legacy Gaming. That's a cool video that he put out. Let's see. I mean, right now, let's check out this quick video, right? Ultimate Beginner's Guide, what we need to know. We can always still pause it in between and, you know, see what this is about. But I'm telling you, man, like, this shit, I'm feeling the game, man.
Outriders is just under a month away from release, and I figured now...
Alright, so let's skip to this. Let's get some gameplay in there.
Standalone,
so yeah,
I mean that the maps for this have been designed
look at the
specifically
AoE, man.
for the end game run. So dungeon-esque missions that will have standalone maps with boss encounters and possibly loot-specific drops on some of them. We don't know about that yet. That again can be played solo with friends or public matchmaking. We're being told that the game...
So yeah, so here we go. As you see, right, they have the abilities at the bottom, right? The left button, left and right button, right? So you have 3 different abilities you can use, right? Then on the right, you have your guns. So it looks like you can equip 3 different guns at once. Then you have your health bar on the bottom left, your map, your team on the top right, and then all the different, I believe those are the abilities, right, under their names, right? For example, that Lucy lady, right? Lucy Square Enix, she has 5 different abilities there, right? So, and look at the design. You know, it definitely does look like Gears of War. What do you think?
It might also be probably her buffs as well. You know, it could be also her buffs, probably, like, I don't know. Because usually I remember in some RPGs, like in WoW and stuff, you know, every time you buff or stuff, you'll see it underneath the character's name or somewhere, depending on the person's GUI on their screen. So it could
Yeah,
be that too. Because
and
remember they said 4, right? 4 at the same time. So what is you have 5?
no, it's 8, 8 that you can
Yeah,
have. I
you
think there's 8
can have
different
8 at the
ones.
same time.
I think there's eight
Yeah,
eight
but
total and four at the same time. I think yeah.
so 4 active, right? So how many she has under her name? Like 5, right?
She has 5, yeah. And mind you, she's
Yeah.
a max character. She's already at level 30,
So
right?
yeah. So maybe her guns or something else will give her an additional perk. You know what I mean? Like kind of like how Diablo did. Remember, some item or weapon will grant you skills. Skills from other characters you can have, like the barbarian, with the how he gives the buffs. The what do you call it? The paladin used to have the flang that gives you also the screaming buffs. From the barbarian, probably the same way,
And I seen that. I saw that on there was a video where they were showing a little bit about the inventory system, right, for Outriders, and they highlighted a weapon, right, and it had the buffs there, like an extra 20% or whatever, right. So yeah, I think the way they're gonna approach this game is it's gonna be very similar to what they've done in Diablo, right, where you're gonna be able to have perhaps multi-element builds, and that's dope, man. I mean, that's something that Destiny should have done a long time ago. I mean, remember we spoke about it, years ago, that Destiny needed to, implement set pieces, and they ended up doing it, but in a legendary form, right? And they ended up doing it in Destiny 2. So they went damn near what 5 years before they actually did that. And I mean, shit, man, we spoke about this shit 2017, probably 2016, right? So I mean, like I said, I think these guys, they're gonna do that. They're gonna have those set pieces. It ain't gonna be sets like in Diablo, right? I think it'll still be legendary pieces, but you're gonna have different pieces that fit with each other. They may be the same sort of kind, like a set, or it might just be a whole different, like a whole legendary build, right? Like it might be item A blends well with item F, right? Like
Yeah, like kind of like the division, right? The knee pads will go with the gloves. If you have 2 of these, then you'll get this perk.
exactly.
Chest piece with your, I don't know, what was it, their backpack. Then it activates headshots multipliers 20% or
Exactly.
whatever, or a chance to ignite an enemy, right, or something like that, like 3% ignite enemy, or some mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, or damage over time, right? Like, shoot him with this equipped and you have damage over time.
Yep, causes bleed effect and all that stuff.
Yeah, I think so, because I've heard that some of the monsters in this game, man, like some of them are really tough. Like I was watching the video and the guy was like, man, like they're almost like bullet sponges. But I think it's gonna really depend on the end game gear, right? Because if you have those sort of items, right, that have DOT, then it's not even gonna matter how much damage they take, because that DOT is gonna make the difference for you, right? So it's gonna be a matter of getting those items and grinding to be able to get that build where you're just melting everything, So I don't know. I think that's dope. I think I think we need to see more. I mean, I think from what I saw, the game, the demo is supposed to come out next month on the 25th. So I'm looking forward to that. Stay tuned, because I'm definitely gonna play that for sure. But let's see. Let's continue watching what this guy's talking
at
about.
launch, PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and Stadia. We know that it's not going to be following a live service play model, so it's buy to play with no season pass or loot drops. And
No
so on,
season
but the
pass.
possibility of future DLC. So we're being told there's going to be no microtransactions. I think that's the big one. As far as character creation and customization goes, when I played it a while back, it was pretty basic character creation, I'm not going to lie. And you can customize your vehicle that moves you between mission and mission and so on. Legendary armor sets and weapons are honestly what's going to make you look and feel badass in this game. And the Town Hub, when I played it, which again was pre-alpha quite a while ago, felt pretty lifeless, almost like Anthem's town, except you can sprint around it, right, which is a good thing. But you do just go to these towns for quests and then jump back into the world for the action. That's where all the fun is going to be anyway. And like I said, that was pre-alpha when I played it. Outriders will have 15 different world tiers to increase difficulty, which will also increase the rarity of enemies, loot, and increase loot drops as well. This game has loads of unique legendary weapons and armor sets. The developers spent a week showcasing some of them on Twitter and said that have enough legendary weapons to run another few weeks worth of showing them off. So there's going to be plenty of items for you to try and get your hands on. And there are 4 different classes for you to play.
All right, so these are 4 different classes, right? Technomancer, right? Long range, support and gadgets. Pyromancer, right? Medium range, conjurer and fire. Trickster, close range, hit and run, and has space time. And then Devastator, right? Close range, tanks, and your ground. So, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of different play styles, and I think yeah, they're gonna have some guys, that are gonna have different elementals, right? Not just Pyromancer, it's fire, but I think even other characters are gonna be able to use something like that, right? Use those elements. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. Like for me, I would just probably just pick the most broken character because, that is the way. So,
that's the way to that's the way to beat the game
that's
efficiently, bro. That's the way to be efficient, man.
Right, you gotta be lean. You gotta use your those who know about like Six Sigma and all that crazy stuff. You gotta be lean, man. You gotta pick what's more efficient and time because time is money.
Yeah,
So
and
pick the best
we're not
class,
getting
bro.
any younger either, man. The older you get, the less time
Right.
you have to play, man. So yeah, I mean, if you need to pick the most broken character to get things done as fast as possible, hey, man, more power to you, man. Luckily, this game doesn't have PvP or anything like that, so it's not even gonna hurt anyone else. It's not gonna hurt anybody, actually.
Right. But remember, there are games that people do cry about that. Like, which one was it? It was just recently. Which one was it? Was all Mass Effect. Remember when Mass Effect, just got drama when it was, the online part was all cool and stuff, and people were crying about the weapons. They were like, "Oh, it's too powerful." I mean, like you're not even PvP and you're fighting the computer. Who cares? But people
Yeah,
cried
right.
about it. Eventually, people will cry about it.
Yeah, I don't understand
PvP.
people like that. Like, what do you care, man? Like, they could just increase the difficulty on the CPU, right? On the environment, man. Like, they don't need to nerf the guns. No,
Yeah,
just
didn't
increase the
Division too?
difficulty.
Division did that. The Division did that too, right? With
Man, the
some of their games.
Division, yeah, bro, the Division. That game had a lot of. Remember, man, we played it from the beginning, man. We both did,
Yeah.
and that game had so much potential, man. But then again, it was the same thing with Destiny 1, right? Fucking Ubisoft had the plan, but released an incomplete game, and that game did not survive, man. I don't care what anybody says. Maybe not Destiny 2, Division 2 maybe, did better, but if you ask me, man, Division 1, I played the fuck out of that game. You can even watch this channel. There's video footage from the beta, excuse me, on this
Yeah.
channel, and that shit died, man, because it was an incomplete game. They started nerfing things because of the dead zone, right? Or the dark zone, I'm sorry. Because of the dark zone.
Yep.
They started doing that. They started nerfing things, and it completely ruined the PvE aspect of the game. And after that, it went to shit. That's what I think. And it's stupid because the game had potential. It was doing things right. It had, like you said, those sets. It had a nice environment. It was in the city. And they killed Alex, so they kept fucking
They
replaying that
killed
shit
Alex.
every 20 minutes. Oh my god, they killed Alex. I'm like, Jesus Christ, these guys don't know how to say anything else different. So I don't know, man. Like, I think this game is definitely learning from those mistakes, and that's why they don't have PvP in there. I don't even think they're gonna have PvP versus E. Nothing like that. It's just gonna be straight PvE, and that's what they need to do, man. It's like a Diablo approach, right? I think that's probably
It,
why
it,
Diablo 3 never really had PvP, right?
they had PvP, but it was something like not primary. Like Diablo 2, you can select a player and mark them with death, so then you'll fight. But it wasn't like official PvP. Diablo 3 tried to do it like this arena thing, but it didn't do too good. It kind of sucked.
Yeah, nobody plays
I don't
that.
even know if I went full game. Yo, did you mention who the developers are? For the game and who the distributor is and all that other crap.
Yeah.
Did you mention that? Because I think people should know who it is. So, because I think, like, I don't know. I think that probably will make people, think like, oh, if it's like, so and so, oh, that's a good one. Kind of like, remember what happened with like Cyberpunk with the whole
Project Red.
Code Project Red. Everybody's like, oh, Project Red. So that if you know the developer, whoever it is, kind of gives you an idea, so you can forecast if they're gonna suck or not.
Yeah. This game is going to be developed, or it is being developed by People Can Fly, right? And it is being published by Square Enix. And when you brought that up to me, and the first thing I said, to you was like, it's being published by a real RPG company. Like Square Enix is fucking Final Fantasy, man. You know what I'm
Yeah, they're
saying?
pretty
Like,
strict. They're strict. Those guys are pretty strict. They're like they're I forgot which Final Fantasy MMO. I want to say it's 12, I guess. When it first came out, I think it sucked really bad. So they I guess they made some. I don't know. I think they went online and they did their sorry thing and pulled the game out and rebuilt it, and now it's just great or something. So I mean, they're pretty strict. I think. I think Square Enix I'd rather call them SquareSoft, how they used to be called, but
remember
whatever. But
SquareSoft? Wow.
SquareSoft, man. I mean, I think definitely they're gonna be strict, and they know RPG. They're not gonna beat around the bush. They don't have to experiment. They already know how loot drop works. They
And they
know
have
how
decades of experience, man.
yeah. You don't have. They know it's not. Which game was it? Somebody did like the mathematical. I don't know. They put it in a spreadsheet or something, and they figured out that this loot will take you like I don't know 2 to 6 months, maybe if you got it. I forgot which one it was. Was it for the Galahorn? Because they had like a really crazy drop, like 0.0003 or something chance of getting it, or something dumb. Can't remember which game it was, but they had really crap. And most RPGs they come from SquareSoft or Square Nick or whatever. They come from the Final Fantasy people. They know their system pretty good.
Yeah.
And I played all their games almost, and I never had an issue with farming for loot that I wanted or a certain item. It's always been pretty reasonable. I never had to spend I don't know months getting something I wanted. So I've always been pretty happy with their stuff.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a very rewarding game, right? Like, people are going to feel that sense of reward for the amount of time they put, and I hope it's sort of like I hope it's sort of like Diablo, man. Like, if you get a particular drop, it has certain base stats, but then it has certain percentages that are always different depending on the drop. You know what I mean? Like it gives you that incentive to keep playing it because they're trying to get the perfect roll on it, right? Remember how in Diablo 3 like the max is 20%, right? But sometimes you might get a drop that's like 14% fire damage or something, right? So.
Yo.
Man, if they do that, that's gonna fucking be awesome because then it gives you the reason to want to keep playing because you're trying to get the perfect roll, right, for your piece, right, and then it just gives you more incentive to play, and then it's rewarding, right, because then it's not like like the thing with Destiny, it doesn't necessarily have that. It only has that with the perks, right, on the weapon, right, but there's no percentages there. You see what I'm saying? Like none of these items have like 18% chance of whatever. They don't have that.
Right.
So it's very
like
stale.
Firefly or a quick draw or something.
Yeah, it's stale, man. It's super stale. So it's cool and all. It works for a while, but real RPGs are based off numbers, right? They're based off how much damage this item is going to give you, right? Based on the percentage stat, right? So anybody that knows that, and I think the fact that this game, like you said, right, is being published by Square Enix, and Square Enix, we're talking about decades of experience with RPGs. That's a huge resource pool for people people can fly to tap into, right? And of course, Square Enix is not gonna put its stamp of approval on this unless they feel like, okay, yeah, this is something we can get behind. Even though, of course, with the Avengers game, that game flopped, but it was just too much on that game. Like, what I'm saying? Like we're talking about an established IP, and people have expectations for that because you have all these superheroes there. So when it doesn't meet their expectations, it's gonna flop. But we're talking right now of a game, a brand new IP, right? And people don't really have too much expectations for it, especially comparing it to other games in the market, which have unfortunately let people down. So now it's their chance to come in and sweep all those people up. So as long as they do it right, and I think that they have the opportunity to do it right, I think this shit might be a fucking, one of those sort of games that are really slept on. And the next thing you know, everybody's talking about Outriders. And I think it's going to be one of those games.
If you support the game, if the game does good and you support it, they did say they're going to actually back their game up and they're going to have more stuff, like more content and stuff. Because, I mean, they're trying to play it safe. You know what I mean? So it's not like, they're just gonna make the game and just let it sit there and stuff. If they're gonna, they're gonna be active on what the their player base is going to be looking forward to. So if they see that the player base is all great and everybody's like cheering and I don't know, doing jumping jacks for the game or whatever,
Yeah.
then they're gonna push forward and they're gonna develop more for it. So then comes the other additional stuff.
It's a
Just
long
to play
term.
it
It's a
safe.
long term project. I mean, if you
It's
want
long
to if
term.
you want to play it safe, that means because you're thinking about the long term. You don't want to turn people away so fast, right? Because then there's no point in playing it safe anymore. You might as well just. But if you're playing it safe and trying to gauge the interest of people, I think you're doing it right. And then as long as people start playing your game and be like, wow, man, this is a really hidden gem, and then more and more people start playing and your game gets more exposure, then you can start adding a little more things to keep it fresh. But I think like we were saying, right, I think it's going to be those sort of games, because I did see that they already did have that. I did see that there was a game, an item that had a percentage stat. So I think that as long as you are able to obtain these items, because remember in Diablo you can get a set of gloves, but they're like a lower level, and then when you get to the 70 level, right, level 70, and you start getting the max item, right, the max stat on the item, it's different, and so I think that they have to play with those numbers. They have to be able to give people these items up front. You don't want to make them just end game, but you want to make it so that you want to play the end game so you can get that same item you've been using but the better version of it. And I think if they do that, and I think they will, for some reason I just get that impression that they will. If they do that, man, that's just going to give it so much longevity, because then you can just get you can play all these different classes and do the same thing for each, and then they can start adding more items. And I don't know, I think that's a smart thing to do if they do that.
I think also what they might do in the end before we continue is, just to throw it out there, is I feel that they're gonna try to. Everybody probably remembers how Warframe started. I'm pretty sure a lot of people remember that when it first came out. Well, for me personally, I thought it kind of sucked. Then it got a little bit better. They improved it, and then they started it started kind of being kind of cool. But then I mean, like how it is now, like for me, like it went uphill, and then it started kind of getting stale little by little, because it's the same stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, but I think one thing of Warframe did right was they listened to their community, and that was always pretty cool. They was always interacting with their community, and most of their ideas came from the community, so that was always pretty dope. So I think that what's going to happen is I think I can see Outriders also taking that approach, and not like you said, they're trying to keep it safe and stuff because they want to give people probably what they want, instead of just them assuming what's trendy or whatever. They'll try to be all cool and stuff, and then it's just no one likes it. So I guess they're gonna probably interact more with their community, and then bring that information back to them. That's why I think they also have that ambassador program. So then, like those other YouTubers or whoever's out there they can talk to their group and then relay that information back, to whoever's in charge, to their what was Deej from Destiny again? Like he
Deej.
was a marketing manager, right, or
Yeah,
something,
remember
or
Deej?
the community manager. He was a community manager for yeah, I think that's what he was. But anyway, something like that. They'll have something like that, and that information relays to them, and so they can make their game better. So like if people like more guns or bigger guns, or maybe they want a Gjallarhorn in the game, they'll probably try to make something like it to please their
Or a
fans.
particular
You know what I
sort
mean?
of stat, like a damage over
Mm-hmm.
time stat, like, oh, why don't you add, healing
Right.
damage over time or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Per shot you heal, right? 20% healing or something, or bleed or whatever, or toxic, right? Is it flame, toxic? What is it? Flame, toxic, ice, rock. What else they have? I think that's it, right?
And electricity, I think, right?
Oh yeah. Well, and that trickster stuff, that telekinesis, time, space thing, whatever, slow mo, whatever
Yeah.
the hell that's called. So yeah, I mean something like make a weapon that does slow mo, But again, they're probably gonna go by the fundamentals of Diablo, so they're not gonna give you like the cool skills. You'll get like probably like the middle to the first skills. You know what I mean? Because then if they give you the awesome skills, then that class will become obsolete. But I think these guys have it down pat. I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Square is really, really paying attention to this game. Um, they've seen, what other companies have done, especially companies that don't really have much experience with these sort of RPGs. Like Bungie doesn't have the experience like that. They don't. They have Marathon, they have Halo, they have Destiny, but those are shooters for the most part, right? I mean, you have Halo and Destiny, right? So they don't have those sort of elements. So this is that Destiny was really their first crack at this. Square Enix has been doing this for almost over 30 years. You know what I'm saying? So like they have a lot of resource material. They know what works. They know what doesn't work. And so if People Can Fly tries to say, hey, we're gonna do this, Square Enix is like, nah, man, that don't work, man. That doesn't work. We trust us, Yeah, do this. No, don't do that. Do this, and like, yeah. This is a good idea. Keep with that. So I think the fact that they have those people in their corner definitely is a plus, right? Because I mean, come on, man. Like you have a company that has so much experience putting out RPGs. You mean to tell me that People Can Fly is so egotistical that they're not going to tap into resource material? Come on, man. Are you serious right now? Like, we're talking about a company that is known for RPGs all over the world. Probably the most popular, most famous RPG franchise ever is Final Fantasy. And you mean to tell me that a company like People Can Fly is not going to tap into resource material that is available to them by the publisher? Are you serious? Like, that's stupid, man. You know what I'm saying? That's not going to happen. So I think the fact that Square Enix is behind this game, there isn't much hype around it necessarily, helps it because it stays under the radar. It's not like the Avengers. Like I said, the problem with the Avengers was, I'm sure if it would have been any sort of other game, it would have been different. But the fact that we're using characters that are already well known and established, it puts a lot of pressure to try to appease to everyone because they know what to expect from these characters. They've been watching them on TV and they've been reading the comics and watching the movies for decades, right? So the fact that we're getting a game with characters that you've never even seen before, with attributes you've never even seen before, it lessens the pressure on what to expect. So when you're playing the game, you're going to be surprised because like, oh wow, that's cool. I've never seen that before, and I think that's the right way to handle this. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think definitely that is the way. I don't know much what happened to the Avenger game. I know it did flop and stuff. I don't know what was the main cause besides the whole that everybody knows who they are. I think there was definitely some other. I think there was some people that were involved in the making of the game. They shouldn't get involved, and there was just games that had. Unfortunately, some franchise they got hit by that. Like look at Massive Effect Andromeda, but they're making another one apparently. I mean, I think they showed a teaser that they're making another Mass Effect, so that's kind of interesting. So hopefully they don't follow the same mistakes again and hire influencers to take cues from them to please their audience.
Mm-hmm.
That's always like the kiss of death. They get these random people that apparently I guess they know what the masses like and they carry that and then they just it's like throwing your a pile of money and just putting gasoline on it and
Yeah,
light it up
like Joker, right?
Breathe in the fumes. yeah and breathe the fumes in and think that it's like fresh air. Kind of what they do.
Like fresh air. Yeah, like our friend right here, Auden, right in the chat. Salute to him. He says, yeah, they have a lot of flexibility to their IP too, and absolutely right. The fact that these are characters you've never seen before, there is no precedent to expect. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be fresh. And I think that's the problem that happened with Avengers. We're talking about characters that most of them been around for 60 years at least. You know what I'm saying? So like everybody knows that all of a sudden, fucking the Hulk, isn't gonna do, some sort of somersault, body, fucking full press body slam or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not gonna do anything crazy like that. You already know what to expect from the character. So if you don't happen to, get to the character or make the character, to the fulfillment of what people expect it to be, then it's already an F, right? So the fact that, we have this game here with 4 different types of characters that we have seen in other games, but it's in a different presentation, in a different world, in a different environment. It just opens, so many possibilities, right? And, like you said as well, right? Heavy microtransactions ruin that game. Lack of end game loop right? Like I said, we hope that this game doesn't have that issue. We hope that it is sort of like Diablo, like we were speaking of before, that as anybody that has played Diablo knows that you can get the same bullshit item later on in the game with a better stat roll, with better percentages, right? I remember playing, used to get 14%, fire damage, with this weapon or something or whatever, right? So if they have the ability to still let you get those weapons, right, get those items, but with a higher percentage, or even re-roll it like they did in Diablo, man, like you're gonna see some builds that are gonna be ridiculous, man. And I hope to see that.
I wonder, because I know they're gonna have crafting, so I
Yes.
wonder if they will take, like, let's say you get like a sniper rifle, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna have something where you can break down the item, right? Like every game has. But I wonder if you can break the item and, let's say, kind of like
Salvage it, right?
like border, like Borderland. You know how Borderland has all these guns, and if you look at them, they're all kind of the same, right? They're like different barrel, different this, but it's basically like, you start memorizing the parts, so you kind of know, like, okay, well, this barrel is always going to give you, I don't know, explosive something. If it's green, it's toxic. If it's red, it's going to be flame. You kind of get the idea, like the magazine or whatever, right?
Right.
So I wonder if this game will take the same approach and say, because if you break down the item, let's say if you craft an item, right? Let's say they give you the freedom of crafting whatever you want, or, well, not whatever you want, because then of course you'll be broken. Well, that's what I like, but they'll give you an idea of, like, okay, you can make a rifle. You can have like two elements, like it'll be a nice element rifle, but like you said, it will have a 15% chance of explosive on headshots. You know what I'm saying? So if you break it down, you can put that modifier in it and then craft it or whatever, and pray to RNG Jesus.
RNG Jesus is our friend.
Yeah, you pray to RNG Jesus, and boom, you get it. You get it. But you're the only bad perk. That's a gamble. You get like a bad perk. You get two good perks and then one bad one.
But it gives you the incentive to keep playing. It gives you the incentive to keep playing, though. So like you want to get that perfect roll or whatever. And like I said, that's the thing with Destiny, man. The perfect roll only exists on the stupid fucking perks, man. Like there's no percentages to it, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think that's what killed Destiny. We spoke about this years ago, man. How Destiny, from the first game, should have had set pieces just like Diablo, so you can have any sort of build. Like you can be a fucking gunslinger hunter, but your armor is fucking cold damage or whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like, so you have the best of both, and they fucked it up, man. They didn't do it. I just think that was them being noobs to the whole sort of RPG element and listening to fans, man. Like, honestly, there's some fans that you just shouldn't listen to, period, because they just want to be
their opinions. So just be honest, their opinion sucks.
It's not even that they suck. It's like they don't have enough experience in it. They're more caught up in the, oh, that looks nice, or I'm like,
they're
cool.
into the hype.
Exactly. Without actually knowing, they're hype beasts. You know what I'm saying? Like
they're hype beasts. Yeah,
they're hype beasts. So instead of
they'll be going to SD and buying those hype beast sneakers, that someone makes, and they're like, look at these, man. Look at my new Air Jordans.
Yeah, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want to treat these games like fucking Air Jordans, man. Like, nah, man. Like, it ain't like that, man. Like, we not with the hype, man. We want something that works, and it's proven to work because there's so many other games that have proven it. And we're going back to the fact that this is a Square Enix published game. You have a company that has over 30 years in RPG experience, a company that is known to have published and developed probably the most famous RPG game in history, or franchise in history, Final Fantasy, and you're not going to tap into that? Are you fucking serious? That's not happening, man. If that happens, man, somebody deserves to be fired. You know what I'm saying? Because that's stupid. And I think that, seriously, man, I think that this game, like, I think People Can Fly have a real shot at really having something good. And it's not an unfortunate thing. The only thing is that I think that this game, like I said, it's going to go under the radar for a while, and it's really up to us, the people that are playing it. Luckily, people like myself, I'll be streaming this game. Believe me or not, guys, I'm going to be playing this game. I'm completely done with Destiny. That's it. You know, I've had. I'm telling you, I've been playing Destiny since the alpha on PS4, the first game, and I'm done. I'm done with that game, and so I need something new to play. And I'm glad that you showed me this game because it definitely reminds me a lot of Diablo. Obviously, Diablo is an action RPG, you know, clicker, you know, point and click sort of game, but the way that they're using the sort of characters and elements and the statistics right on items, it definitely reminds me of Diablo, right? That approach. And so the fact that it's a third person shooter with cover and it's got, people from Gears of War Judgment working on it, so you're going to expect some levels of gore and violence. I mean, what more do you want right now, man? I mean, you have the colors. It's already a colorful game. I mean, you got green, red, blue, and yellow on the screen right now. So what more
all
do
you
you
need
want?
is red.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, what more do you want? Purple? Okay, we'll give it to you.
In the game, to me, the sad story about it for me is that it reminded me a lot of Hellgate London, and I remember when Hellgate London, appeared. Everybody who bought it, the Founder Edition, they got that big ass box, and you gave, I think it was like $200, and it reminded me of that, because it was a it was not third person shooter RPG, but it didn't have cover system. But yeah, you had that bulky armor. It took place in the futuristic, some apocalypse crap with demons and stuff. So it literally reminded me a little bit of it. But you know, those who paid the $200, you know what happened. You can thank that, what was his name, Reaper, that audio guy who made Diablo music. The one, he sold it to China apparently, and then servers. He sold it to China, and then we all got screwed. And everybody complained, say, "Hey, what happened to our Founder thing?" And I forgot what he said. He said something like,
Me.
"Too bad."
That's what he said.
We made him rich, and he walks away. But the game reminded me, a lot of Hellgate London, a little as well. Of course, it's some guy they used to be part of Diablo, so definitely that's one thing. I like going back to those kind of roots. That farming. I like. That's one thing they always kind of like what I do in GTA. Farm. What? Yeah, it is, right? Kind of like farming for the stupid money they give you.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah, you have to, right? Got it.
But the thing about GTA is that the DLC is free. That's the one thing, man. It's free, man. Yo,
it's free, but man, you gotta get that.
But you gotta play hard. You gotta play a lot, man. You gotta really, grind.
Gotta grind. You can't even grief anymore. You just gotta grind.
Or you can buy shark cards. You know what I'm saying?
Or buy shark cards. Yeah.
And that's fine. If you want to do that, right? If you want to go and do that,
if you're a high
cool.
roller, buy shark cards.
Yeah, if you don't have the time to invest in the game, or have someone to to join you to help it go faster, do what you got to do, right? But I think this game right here, it really does have that appeal, right? It has that appeal where, like I said, man, like I remember playing Diablo 3 when it came out. That shit was broken, man. And remember the fucking the real money auction house? Oh my god, that was
expensive.
The shit was terrible, man. And it was ruining the game. And then they fixed it, right? When the time Reaper of Souls came out, they had fixed it. And man, I mean, people still play that game. And that game is what, 9 years old almost already? I think in May it's gonna be 9 years old. That's a long ass time already, man. And it's crazy how fast time has passed, but they progressively improved it. And I hope to see that with this game. I hope it's not a game where, 3 years from now, they're going to put out Outriders 2. No, I hope that's not that sort of game. Because with the base that they're going to have for this game already, you can tell that it can be a game that has a lot of longevity. It's just a matter of them, maybe adding things here and there. But the base of the game, right, it's not like they have to make a sequel to add a sort of gameplay mechanic that couldn't be already included in the first game, which is what was wrong with Destiny. So many things that they added in Destiny 2, there was no reason for them not to have them in Destiny 1. It was just milking the fucking game, and you can blame Bungie for that, you can blame Activision for that, or you can blame both, right? But that's the problem. We're tired of having these games where, yeah, you're playing it for 3 years, and oh, wow, look, part 2's coming out, and they just added like a few extra features that they could have easily just added to the first game because they're still running on the same engine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that hard. You're just doing that now to milk it. and that ruins the game. So I mean, as long as they take that sort of Blizzard approach, with games like Diablo, if they can do that, this game, I'm telling you, man, this game is gonna be super slept on. And I'm sure you're gonna be playing it. I'm gonna be playing it. We'll be playing it online together. Anybody that's watching, subscribe to the channel because we're going to be playing this game. Like, I'm telling you, I'm not really going to be focusing on many other games right now except for this game. This is the one game that I want to play. I'm tired of Destiny.
Yeah, if you want to be broken and just like wreck the game, yeah, just sign to this channel. Because we're most likely gonna find what's the most broken thing in the game and take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Let you guys know.
Yeah.
That's part about being elite.
Well, that's definitely part about being elite, right? And being pro, and that's definitely part of playing RPGs. You want to be the most broken dude so you can just be so OP that you're just melting everything that everybody, especially if it's a co-op game, they want to play with you because they might have a hard time. So I'm like, yo, don't worry about it. I'll help you out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the beauty of these sort of, co-op games, that you might have a friend or two that, I've been playing it so much and have so many, broken items, I guess you can say, that, yeah, man, like, come through, man. Like, I'll help you, man. And the thing about this is that you can't really cheat, because remember, in this game, you can't just jump from one to the next. Like, you have to progressively go. You see what I'm saying? So like,
yeah, I don't think they even have trading. I don't think, man.
I don't think they have trading.
Like, no. Yeah, I think I think you only see the loot on your screen only.
Yes, it's
like
only on
everybody
yours.
has independent loot, right? It's not like everybody can just take your loot. I think everybody gets independent loot. Yeah.
Yeah, it has independent loot. So I mean, if you're having a hard time, like, and you have somebody like, oh, this guy's OP, man, like, yo, can you help me? And either way, he might still get some drops that might work for him, or he might need to do it anyway because he needs crafting materials, right?
Yep,
so like everybody wins.
Remember?
Yeah, the bell runs.
Doing bell runs. Yeah, man. It's like doing bell runs. You gotta get those rune words.
Yeah, so I think that if they take that approach, it's gonna give everyone an incentive to grind the game, whether it's because you're having a hard time and you need someone that's a little higher up than you to come help you. That person that's coming down to help you can still gain something like crafting materials that they might need for end game stuff. So I mean, fuck, I really hope that this game is what it is set out to be. And like I said, stick around, because this is the next game I'm going to play. I'm not going to be playing too much anything right now. I might play some Call of Duty here or there, but the next game I'm really focusing on is this game. And starting next month, the 25th.
Play GTA, man.
And GTA.
I gotta get a submarine.
I got to get a submarine. I got to get my money up because I'm broke. So, I need my stimulus package for that. You know what I mean? So, for fucking, I'm telling you, man, like, this game right here is the next game I'm going to invest my time in. I spent way too many years playing Destiny to finally uninstall that and look back at it and like, man, that was dumb. And, it is what it is. But, at least with this game, we know what we're getting ahead of time. We're getting a full-fledged game right out the box, or right off the, the EXE file after you download it or whatever. So, I'm telling you, man, like, this is what I think it is. So I mean, let's get back to some of the game, right? Because we've been rambling for a minute here. So let's get to some of the game. Yeah, we've been we're just shitting on everybody, bro.
One more thing, man. The good thing about it also, one last thing, is at least people won't have this this butthurt mentality. You know what I mean? Because remember, everybody can independent loot and stuff. So, and this is an example. Remember when that guy was telling us that we didn't earn the icebreakers because they sold it?
Oh yeah. I remember that we couldn't earn it. We didn't earn it.
That mentality, those people, at least they're not gonna be all crunk about it. They're not gonna try to belittle you, or like the people with the gallon horns. Hey, you can't play in my raid or whatever because you got to get the max galley. Is your galley max? No, it's not. Get out. Remember that?
I remember.
People getting booted from our raids because they didn't have a max galley for what was that stupid votive glass boss? What's his name?
Atheon, yeah.
Atheon, testicle, whatever. Yeah, that guy. So at least we didn't have to deal with that. You know what I mean? So you don't have to deal with those kind of people. So I mean, if everybody's getting independent loot, I'm pretty sure there's going to be like some sort of, there's going to be some characters stronger than others, but that's their job. Like kind of like if you're going to be a tank. Well, your job class is going to be a tank.
Exactly.
If you're going to be all pure DPS, you're going to, this it's not like how everybody needs to have a Gallahorn anymore, or an icebreaker, or what was that other stupid gun that people went bananas about?
The Mythoclast?
mid to class, I guess. Or it was high, it was good for like what, for a month before they nerfed it in PvP, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
stupid.
and
So you
that's
don't have to
and
deal with
that's what
that no
hurts the
more.
game. That is actually contrary to the whole purpose of playing, you know, an RPG online. Like, no, you can't, bro. You don't see that in Diablo. Like, you can't join because you don't have what is it, the Theo gloves, the ones that have the max crit and the max critical chance and attack speed. Like,
Oh
you don't
yeah.
see that, bro. Like, that doesn't happen. I've never seen that happen before. People don't care about that, man. Because then you might just join a public lobby where you have a guy that's fucking 700 Paragon and you might be fucking 200 and he's like, yo, you need help, come on, let's go. And you're like, oh shit, man. And then you start doing that for other people, and you still have an incentive to do it because there's certain drops that you're looking for or certain materials that you're looking for still. So it doesn't even matter. The problem with what happened with Destiny, like you said, with the Gallahorn, for example, was that, yo, I remember, bro, you saw I didn't have a Gallahorn until a year after the first time Xur sold it. Xur sold it the second week the game came out and didn't sell it till a year later. And you and we finished everything in that game without it. And I remember people being like, oh man, you need to have the Gallahorn. If you don't have the Gallahorn, then you can't play with us in this raid because it's too hard. Like, what are you talking about, yo? Like, you suck that bad? Is that what you're saying? Because I was able to do it without it. Why do you need it? You see what I'm saying? Like, and it hurts the game because then it sets sort of elitism. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's now an elitism of the game. Like, oh, you have the max galley, but like, yo, it's like you earned it. You can't earn a random drop. It doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just means you play the game a lot, probably, if anything, or you just happen to be lucky. But that mentality is what really hurt Destiny in the beginning, and I think it never recovered from that, right? Because the second game didn't necessarily have a Gallahorn or an icebreaker, but the way the game was seen and looked upon, you know what I'm saying? Like, it always has that sense of elitism. And games like Diablo, I don't get that impression, bro. Because I played, trust me, bro, like I played a few months ago, I reinstalled Diablo and I created a new season character. And I was just messing around, whatever. And the next thing I know, some dude joined I joined a lobby, and he's like, hey man, you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I can't really survive. I'm really low level. He's like, oh, don't worry, man. Just stay behind me. And the dude was killing everything for me. I'm like, wow, man. I'm like, fuck. He just saved me so much time. You see what I'm saying? And games like Destiny aren't like that. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not like that, man. And that's the thing with Destiny, man. Like, I'm done with that game. Done. Bungie, I'm sorry, but you fucked up. You fucked up.
You sound mad. Is it? Remember that one time that you were about to get the galley and that guy joined in the last minute and he got it?
Bro, I
That was
got
pretty
booted,
crazy.
bro. I got booted, and this guy ended up getting my drop. Like, yo, and then I had to wait another 6 months to get the Gallahorn. That was ridiculous, man. No, man, fuck that. But anyway, let's get back to what we're here for. So let's go ahead and check out the skill trees. Like, this is what we have here. So Technomancer, the powers. Let's check this out.
And some of these skills will be amplified by talent points in your skill tree, but can also be amplified by mods, by armor, by weapons, so that you can chop and change
So look,
abilities in.
you see that? Ignite. Summon a fiery wave that deals 551 damage and inflicts burn onto all enemies in its path. That's what we're talking about. Those are things that you see in Diablo, where it has certain statistical a numerical statistic, right? It has a numerical effect. So we're gonna see items likely that have that, and then it has a cooldown, as you see, right? 11 seconds, 14 seconds, 12 seconds, right? So we're gonna probably definitely see that on items as well, which, like I said, it gives you an incentive to keep playing the game because now you're trying to get the perfect roll on that item. It's not like Destiny where the perfect roll is based on a stupid perk. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like, that's not how real RPG games work. You see what I'm saying? Like, not these sort of games, loot shooters or loot based games. No, it doesn't work that way. It works based upon the type of numerical statistic you're getting on there, right? So you see it, right? 551 damage. Then you have feed the flames, immobilize, select and pull enemy towards you, dealing 787 damage and inflicting ash. So it also has an extra perk. So I think this game is going to take that approach, and if it does, man, that's fucking sick. Because look, you see it has a three, the 1, 2, 3, right? You see the hole at the top. It's 4 different abilities, right? But remember, Diablo has the same thing, right? And then if you, I think it's called the elective, right? Then you can have more on your uh, on your number pad, right? Where you can go ahead and pick the stats. And each one of those, remember, Diablo works the same way. Where if you have black hole, right, with the electricity mod, you're gonna do X amount of damage with it. You see what I'm saying? So like that's the type of approach this game is taking, and if it is, and it's going to take that approach, man, this game is gonna be fucking dope, dope as fuck, man. I'm telling you. What do you think, bro?
Yeah, but it definitely is going to increase the life of the game, and then you have different builds, But that's the thing, though. That's one thing we forgot. You can change your skills whenever you want, so you don't have to like build another whole build from ground zero.
And it costs nothing either. It's free.
It costs nothing. Yeah, you can recalibrate whenever you want. So that's you can try different things without penalties.
Yeah, and that's gonna really appeal to a lot of people, man, because it's not like, oh, I gotta grind this stupid fucking map because I need to get my points up or whatever. No. You already unlocked it. You want to reset it? Go ahead, play how you want. And it's just like in Diablo, right? Once you unlock it, it's there. Because remember, certain skills you can't use until you reach the max level, right? 70. But you're working your way towards it. So once you get to max level, which in this game is going to be 30, then now you have really the liberty to really build your character however you want based upon the gear that you have. So it definitely feels like a Diablo 3 approached sort of game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like it, man. I like it. So let's see.
Out whenever you want until you are happy with your given build. Changing abilities will cost you absolutely nothing, and you can do it whenever you want. Outriders also has a pretty interesting set of skill trees for each of these 4 classes. Each skill tree will have 3 different subclasses with certain skill points that are designed specifically to link each subclass in case you wanted to have a mixed subclass build. Maybe there's some life leech outside of the subclass you're actually putting points in that you want to dip into. You can go and do that and then go back into the subclass and max it out. Or rifle damage or armor increase or armor penetration and so on. So you can dip into
8%,
certain subclasses just by going down into
man, that's what this game needs. That's what Destiny
needed. So your Pyromancer, Trickster, Devastator and your Technomancer will all have 3 different subclasses that will heavily alter how you play each one of them. And that's before you put legendary weapons, armor sets and mods into the mix. These skill trees can be reset as well at any time you want at no cost whatsoever.
Sick.
So you can test your builds as often as you want until you can get the one that fits your playstyle. So there's going to be lots of min-maxing to get the most out of certain builds, and I'm sure meta builds will show up, but like I said, you can chop and change anytime you want at no cost. Each class that you're running will have 3 different weapons.
This is what we're talking about, right? So look, weapon life leech 19.5%, skills life leech 3.5%, close range damage 10.8%. Look at the bottom. Claymore, shots damage an enemy with anomaly blade, dealing 551 damage, cooldown over 4 seconds. So look, I guarantee you this, and mind you, that's a level 26 weapon. So what's going to happen when you get to the level 30 weapon? Those stats have to change. They have to change. They have to more than likely increase. They're not going to be as low. Because remember, you get the lower ones on the lower levels. The more higher you get, the more you're going to get on the stat, right? So this is exactly what we're just talking about. So it's going to take the Diablo approach in terms of how stats work on the game and the perks. And
that's the purple.
And that's a legendary.
Yeah. So we don't know if they're going to have exotic or some other tier of, some other tier of rarity, and they might have. What did Diablo have? They have after the.
Well, they had
another one.
They had the grays. They had the gray ones. Then they had the fucking yellows. Then they had the Then they had the legendaries, and then they had the sets.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And this game, I think the max it's gonna go is legendary, but you're already seeing it, right? I mean, look at the perk. Shots inflict burn on enemies, cooldown of 8 seconds. So maybe a level 30, the cooldown might be 5. It's not gonna be too much of a difference because then it becomes too OP, but 5 is still going to be better than 8 for cooldown, right? So it gives you an incentive to keep grinding the game to get that item at level 30. Same thing with Claymore, right? It says 551 cooldown of 4 seconds. So what if the level 30 item, the damage is now 751, but still the same cooldown? It still gives you a reason to try to grind the game to get it. You see what I'm saying? So like that approach that they're taking for this game makes so much sense. It's very disappointing to see that, you know, we had to wait so long with other games that have come out before trying to get it right and didn't, to see now a game that we're getting now in 2021 and it looks like it's going to get it right, man. You see what I'm saying? And then look at the reload, 1.6 seconds. The crit multiplier is 200%. So you know you're going to see items where that stat is going to change. And then that just gives you more reason to want to play the game, more reason to want to try different builds, right? So I'm telling you, man, like this shit right here has so much potential, man. And I really hope that, you know, people can fly and Square Enix, you know, don't give up on this game so easily, especially if they don't get the numbers that they're expecting, or maybe they don't really have much of expectation anyway, right? Since it's a brand new IP, you know, there's so many other games out there. Like I said, this might be the type of game that it goes under the radar. You know, it becomes like a cult classic. But then after a while, you know, people are still like, hey, man, have you heard of Outriders? And like, man, yeah, that game is dope, man. I've seen some such and such playing. And like, I saw ALIANZ on Gotta Be Legend playing it and it looks dope, you know? So who knows, right? Hopefully it's that sort of game. I think it will be. What do you think, bro? What do you think from, you know, the stats that you see on the screen right now? Do you think that this game is going to have that approach?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I also like the interface. It's pretty clean.
Yeah,
You know,
it
reminds me
is.
of other games too. I definitely think because if they have a rarity system, with everything they're gonna have something higher, and who knows, maybe they'll have greens, right? Like set item green.
And they can
Like
always
another
item.
color.
They can always add them after too.
You can always add them, you know, you know. So I think that they definitely for item stuff, there's not really much I can say. I think they have it. They're gonna have it down pat in the item department.
I think so.
So yeah.
I think so. I think so,
Equips
man.
2 primary weapons and a pistol or a hand cannon.
See, look at that crit, 125%. Clip size, see, killing shots replenish, 425 points. Yeah, bro, like this is it.
Drop in the usual grades of white, which is common, all the way up to gold, which is legendary, with uncommon, rare, and epic in between. Weapons can be upgraded in rarity, so spending resources to increase your weapon from rare to epic and so on.
Wow, so you can update them from rare to epic, right? So you can even upgrade your items to even be more OP. You know, and look at the resources on the bottom right. You see? You have a gear. I don't know what that is. The 4,194. The 2503 looks like it's some sort of, you know, material, like some sort of elemental material maybe. 343. Then you have shards. Yeah. And look at that. Improve rarity. Let's check this out.
Will also increase their stats in the process. If you want, you can also change the type the weapon is from fully automatic to semi-automatic, or you can even turn it into...
So you can change a weapon from semi-automatic to fully automatic. That's dope, bro. That's pretty fucking dope. Not even Destiny does some shit like that.
A burst fire weapon, so maybe you want to make a normal shotgun into a fully automatic shotgun. Spending resources will allow you to alter the weapon as well. There are 350 individual mods up for grabs in Outriders to add into your library. Mods that can be switched in and out of weapons and armor pieces.
That's sick.
Most pieces of gear will come with 2 mod slots. You can only...
So look, it looks like that's a reroll. Do you see that Thunderbird with that recycle icon? Looks like that might be a reroll. And then you have here 36 damage, 125% crit, 30% on crit damage is returned to you as health. Yeah, this is definitely going to be just like Diablo, right? When it comes to stats, you know, he has a tier 3 perk. Shots bring down lightning on an enemy, dealing 138 damage. A tier 2 Striga. Yeah, I mean, what do you think, bro? It looks just like that, right?
It does. I mean, it actually sounds just like it. I mean, like I said earlier, I think definitely their item department is going to be great. I think they know what they're doing with items, as long as they don't make it the farming tedious. Remember, Destiny had to do the same thing, but they try to do the same thing, but they didn't, and that's why people ended up using stuff like the loot cave, remember? To get that specific item, because as long as the farming isn't tedious, everything should be okay.
Yeah, the reward has to be right. I mean, look, that's a level 17 item too. Thunderbird, level 17. What level is this guy? Can you see it here on the screen? No, I don't see it here. But that's a level 17 item, man. He's probably not a level 7. Oh, there he is. He's level 28 in the top left. You see that? Level 28, but he's still using a level 17 Thunderbird. Just like in Diablo, right? You might still use a lower level item because of the stats on it until you get, a higher level item with better stats on it, right? So that's what it looks like to me, man. It looks like that's what we're going to do. We're going to have items that are based on level, and then as you continue to play, you're going to get a higher leveled item with better stat roll on it. And until you get it, that other item that you've been using that might be a lower level item is still going to be useful. And that's super important for the longevity of a game. Super important, right?
Yep, I agree.
Yeah. I don't know. I like what I'm seeing, man. I really do.
One of these mod slots. After you've replaced it, the mods will be locked in place. These mods also come in 2 different varieties. General mods, which will change how your weapons and armor will perform, and then there is skill mods. Skill mods will change how your class specific abilities will work, basically altering them. But the skill mods only fit on armor pieces, and these can increase cooldowns, can increase skill damage, casting speed, and so on. There is even legendary mods that could have similarities to certain class abilities, like the Golem's Limb shotgun that we've seen so much of, which will coat one of your classes with rock armor similar to what the Devastator has as an ability. If you wanted, you can even have 2 legendary mods on a legendary
Hold on, did you hear what he said?
Classes with rock armor similar to abilities, like the Golem's Limb shotgun that we've seen.
Killing
It's kind of hard to hear. It sounds like far away a little bit.
Hold on, let me see if I can
Maybe
lower
it's
it.
just me though. I don't know.
So check this out. It says killing shots grant you a protective golem effect for 3 seconds. That's an attribute that the Devastator, the tank, has. So basically, you can remember we were talking about it, like in Destiny. Remember, like for example, you were playing a gunslinger, but you can't build like a cold damage build with a gunslinger class. Remember, we were just talking about that just now. So if you have this item and you're, let's say, a Technomancer, you can still get the effect of a Devastator as long as you have the right perk. So you see what I'm saying? Like it changes the way you play the game now, because yeah, you can be, this particular sort of player or this particular sort of tune, but that doesn't negate the fact that you can still experience other items or other abilities from other classes, just of course in a much more toned down version. We're seeing it right here. Look, he's going to say it right now. Look.
So much of, which will coat one of your classes with rock armor similar to what the Devastator has as an ability.
Rock armor similar to what the Devastator has as an ability. So you don't even have to play as a Devastator to get that perk or to get that ability. And that's so important, man. You know what I'm saying? So like the fact that they're already implementing that into the game, it's just going to change the way the game, it's going to change everything, man. Like this game, I'm telling you, bro, like what I'm hearing so far is everything I need to hear. Now I just need to be able to see it when I play it. But what I'm seeing, I'm buying what you're selling right now. You just gotta fucking make sure you pull through and it actually turns out that way. But the fact that you don't even have to be a Devastator or a particular type of class to actually still be able to use some of their abilities to your advantage depending on the playstyle. I mean, what more do you want, right? What more do you want?
If you wanted, you can even have 2 legendary mods on a legendary weapon. Find that ultimate setup. You can do this simply by breaking down, or I guess destroying, a legendary weapon, which will rip that legendary mod out of it, and then you can put that legendary mod into a secondary slot of another legendary weapon. Now on a past dev stream, we seen them using this method on a legendary weapon, which then eventually was dealing lightning damage and ice damage at the same time, which basically made it freeze enemies in place and then blow them up with a lightning strike. So it looked quite powerful. Now mods also come in 3 different grades. Grade 1, 2 and legendary mods, which are the grade 3 ones. And you can craft mods, or you can also craft weapons and armor,
you can craft mods
varieties too. Now we know that there is legendary armor sets as well for us to get our hands on. We haven't seen a whole lot of them. They are planning on doing a legendary armor set week on social media, so I'll hopefully have a video up for that whenever they show them off. And these legendary armor sets will come complete with set piece bonuses attached to them, depending, I'm guessing, on how many pieces you have equipped at any given time. So that's pretty much everything that I can remember about Outriders. I will be making a few more videos between now and when it gets released.
Dope, man, dope. Let's see what they got next. All right, so is this game going to be better than Destiny? Before even watching this video, I'm going to say yes. What do you think, bro?
That's hard to say, man, because, you know, I do miss the Galahorn and all that stuff, so I might have to give it up to... No, I'm just kidding. I definitely think that Outriders is going to be better than Destiny. I mean, it's obvious. Besides, it's a new game, you know. I hopefully they learn from their mistake, or they learn from other people's mistakes, other companies, you know, so they don't, you know, repeat the same nonsense.
Yeah.
And, you know, they do their research and all that stuff, and yeah, I can see the game being awesome, but like you said earlier, it's definitely going to be under the radar. So the only way people would know about it is if someone brings it up, like, hey, did you play this? You know, did you play this game? I'll be like, no. Well, you got to try it, you know. So I can see definitely be an under the radar game for a while.
And that's a good thing, because then you don't have too many people to appease to, right? So you make sure you get your core audience happy, and then, you know, hope that your core audience, you know, pushes the game out to the forefront and draws people to the game for what it is, not for what they want the game to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hopefully they don't listen to the you know, the what can we call them? The hype beast crowd, I guess.
Hype beast, man. The hype beast, man.
Yeah, hopefully they don't listen to, you know, those kind of people, and they just keep it real and see how, you know, how the game goes. Again, you know, the game is going to be based on public reaction, how the public receives the game, and based on that, they'll move forward and keep developing. But hopefully they don't pull like, well, we released part 1 and got to release part 2 next year, you know, or something weird, you know. Hopefully they don't do something like that.
I don't think so. I hope not, but we'll see. We'll see, man. Let's see what this guy says.
Lazarus back at it again with another one, man. And if you enjoy the content, please leave a like.
Make sure you leave this guy a like, man.
Share the video and subscribe. And if you dislike it, go ahead, click that dislike button. I don't mind. But if you gon' dislike the video, then Destiny. I'm gonna say this right now. Is it better than Destiny at launch? Heck yes.
Oh man, this guy's a genius. Is it better than Destiny at launch? Heck yes. Anybody that played Destiny at launch knows how broken that game was. Not necessarily in gameplay, but in story. There was none. So automatically, this game has already got one thing on the plus side for it. And I mean, I don't even know if I need to keep watching this. Let's see what he says.
Remember how dry, like literally dry, Destiny 2 was when it launched?
He's talking about D2 at least, too.
I don't think y'all suckers remember how dry that is, but if you do remember, sucker, it was dry. I think Outriders is going to have an amazing launch. I'm not going to hold you. I think Outriders is going to have an amazing launch compared to Destiny. Destiny, it took a minute because we had to wait on what's it called? Shadow Key. We had to wait on Forsaken. We had to wait on Beyond Light, I think it was. We had to wait on those expansions, and then now, you know, Destiny has some content for people that if they just wanted to get the Destiny now, they actually have something to play. But Destiny, when it first launched, it didn't have much content. It was dry.
True. What do the kids like to say? Facts.
That got Destiny on day 1. She said it was
gotta clap your
water.
hands and say
Literally,
facts.
like she
Facts.
had nothing to do. Like Bungie
Facts.
didn't know what the freak they were doing. She still is complaining about them. But regardless, Destiny is a good game, okay? And is that Outriders gonna be better than it? I don't think so. No game really can be absolutely perfect. You know what I'm saying? No game can absolutely be perfect. But They do have a lot of similarities. They're both different games, though. Gotta remember, they're both different games, but they have similarities because they're both looter shooters.
Right.
So when you put them all together
Look
in
at the
one
combat.
retrospective,
Okay.
it's just like it's kind of hard to say who's actually better.
This has to be the
Destiny
tank.
now has a lot of content, and I'm pretty sure Outriders is going to have a good amount of content for their players in the beginning, and then they're going to come out with more if it continues to be good. But you know, people, I've been noticing that people have been running through Destiny content pretty fast lately now, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they just keep going through the same loops over and over and over and over again. Like, I remember my homie that played Destiny, when she started getting me into it, man, we was just doing the same thing over and over and over again until I got better loot. Like, it was just, it was kind of sad. But Outriders said that they're going to have, you know, different areas that you're going to go through. You're not going to be going through the same thing over and over and over again than initially. Now, I'm not even going to hold you. What I mean by initially, I mean, like, you know, as you know, as regular looter shooters go, they have you repeat the same thing. And they said they're not going to do that. But I'm going to say right now, I think that's cap. I don't know about y'all, but I think that's one of the biggest lies that Outriders has given us. And hey, if they prove me wrong, I'm happy either way. But I think that's gonna be a kind of a cap. Like, you telling me we're not gonna be revisiting spots to get certain gear or...
Yeah, I mean, I can see that happening. They did say that, of course, endgame content, right, is going to be different, right? That they're not going to be like, for example, with Destiny, right, where, you know, you just played a mission and then, you know, maybe the raid is going to have some sort of element similar to a mission. No, it's going to be different, but we'll have to see, right? We'll see. Now, let's get to this one real quick. Which class is best for you? I'm sure people want to know what these classes can do. So, without further ado, let's just get to it, you know?
Another information-packed Outriders video. It's your boy, Minor Life Crisis here.
It's your boy.
So, there are 4 main classes that are coming. We have Devastator, Pyromancer, Trickster, and Technomancer. And I'm just going to tell you just a little bit just about them and just things that we can do with them to give you an inkling of whether you want to play one or the other. It's all down to you guys, you know. I can't wait to see some people's builds on this. I'm really, really excited to see what people are going to be coming up with.
Looks
so
good.
Anyway, let's not mess about anymore with this and let's have a look. So the first class we want to have a look at is the Devastator. Now, this Devastator build is pretty much for the players that don't want to run, you know, like Gears of War players. They're not going to sit back. They're not going to, not camp, but play the long game and that. They're the ones that are going to get in there, get up real close with shotguns and weapons like that, you know, melee weapons, and just tear enemies apart. Now, this has, like, real strong earth-based abilities and a self-heal. But it does bits like you can jump in the air with a Devastator, almost like, I don't really want to compare it because it's not, but almost like the Titan Slam in Destiny. You can do like this big quake punch on the ground, and that like just obliterates enemies that are near you. The Devastator class trait as well, it grants a 25% max health bonus and a 30% armor bonus. In addition, it also grants a 24% heal every time an enemy dies at close range. So its 3 subclasses are built on that trait. The Entangler focuses on weapon damage and armor. The Warden is all about health regeneration and resistance. And the Seismic Shifter enhances earth-based anomaly powers. So if you guys want to play tank and you want to be the ones that just get in there, get up close and just start smashing things to pieces, that is the class for you guys. So secondly, we've got Pyromancer. Now, the Pyromancer is defined as a medium range class with fire abilities and a great pick for players who like to control the battlefield. Now, a lot of its abilities are focused on inflicting status effects on groups of enemies, basically inability to fight and dealing massive AoE damage. So AoE is effects over everything damage, I believe. So its class trait, it grants 15% max health bonus and 10% ability power bonus. In addition, it also grants 24% heal time an enemy is marked by the Pyromancer's skills. So if you manage, I'm guessing if you hit a group and you mark them all, it's going to give you masses of extra ability power.
Right.
Now, the Pyromancer skills, the 3 subclasses that it has, you've got the Rule of Ashes is about combining weapons and anomaly power. The Scorcher doubles down on fire-based damage, and the Tempest on applying status effects. So with this and the Devastator, if you can mark with a Pyromancer and destroy with a Devastator, that is going to give you huge amounts of health and power ability back to both of you. And I think this is how the game is going to work. You know, it's really going to be you set them up, I'll kill them, I'll locate them, you destroy them, really working together. And I like that. It gives
Nice.
you like a frontline combat. You're getting hammered by something really strong.
All right, so let's continue.
However,
let's continue. So I want to go ahead and take a look at, let's see, how to get weapon and armor mods.
This is Laserbolt, and welcome to today. As a trickster, weapon's not going to have a mod.
Well, it's pretty much the same thing that we just looked at before, really. So that's fine. But I don't know, man. I mean, like, I guess everything else that we have here, right, is pretty much mostly what, you know, we spoke about before. You know, we've been here for maybe almost an hour and a half. Probably going to go ahead and, you know, end the stream right here because, you know, we've been talking, you know, for the last hour and a half, and we've been really giving our opinion on what we've seen. Obviously, you know, there's things that we haven't seen yet because the game is still under NDA, right? People that have been playing the game can't really put out too much about it. So, obviously, right, guys, if you want to go ahead and play this game, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to play this game, the demo will be available next month on the 25th. Believe me, I'm going to play this on PC. It is going to have crossplay. That's the number one thing. Destiny 2 has been out since 2017, and it still doesn't have crossplay. Please don't tell me that this game is going to have crossplay at launch, and when it comes out, Destiny still won't have crossplay. That is a disgrace. I don't care what anybody says. We're talking about a game that's been out since 2017 and a game that's just coming out already out the box with crossplay, and we're still waiting for an update for Destiny to get it. That's ridiculous, man. Stop making excuses for these companies, folks. Put your money where your mouth is, right? And this is the game that, you know, if you want to play, you know, pay $60, $70, and you want to play a loot shooter, a loot-based shooter, or a loot-based RPG game, this is the game you want to play, especially if you're on a console. This is the one you want to play, you know, folks. So, listen, Seth, I'm ready to go ahead and end the stream, but I'm gonna give you the last word. I'm gonna let you, you know, speak your piece, take as much time as you want, tell people why you think they should buy this game, how is it different from other games we've seen, and what are your expectations for it?
I don't know. I think the game looks like, to me, it looks cool. That's probably one reason why I'll play it, just because, I don't know, I just play a lot of different games, and it's been quite a while that I haven't played something, you know, that kind of attracted me to it. Kind of like Destiny, you know, like I thought Destiny would be one of those games that, you know, you'll play until, you know, until they finish the whole story. You know, how it was like a 10-year project or whatever, right? So, is that what it was? Was it 10-year development?
Yep, 10 years.
Like,
it was a 10-year plan with Activision.
Yeah, 10-year plan or something, or whatever it was, 7, 10. You know, and you know, to me, like my gaming life has kind of slowed down a bit. You know, like I don't, you know, responsibility and stuff. So I can see Outriders being a game that you can come back, you know, play, loot some stuff. You know, if you know the routine, you know the farm route. You can farm it for a bit, you know, get whatever you want if you get lucky that day, and move on. So that's probably one of the main appeals that I have with it, you know. And I thought, you know, games like Destiny, or there's other ones too that I besides Destiny, I tried Borderlands, same thing. I just couldn't get into it.
Right.
they nerfed the weapons that I had. Also, that's the other part that I uninstalled that game. But I can see already being a laid back game. You know, it's a chill game. I don't think I can say. Doesn't look like it's gonna be casual. It looks like you're gonna get overrun. So you're gonna have to kind of micro your way pretty good. You know, you're not gonna just can't kick it
It's not for
and
noobs. I don't think it's going to be for
yeah.
noobs.
Yeah, you're gonna get overrun. I can see it's kind of like a horde game. You know, you're gonna get overrun. You know, you gotta know your build. You gotta know what you're doing. You know, it's kind of like doing a bell run. You know, once you're prepped up and everything, you're set to go. You just go out there and you do your route. You do your route and you loot whatever you can, and that's it. You know, it's not something that you start out from the beginning and you're gonna be able to jump Olympics hoops or whatever to through every boss and stuff or that kind of stuff. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have expos. I'm sure every game does, right? Every game has an expo. Every game is gonna have something that's gonna get patched. Hopefully, this game doesn't. I hope they reward the players, but don't take stuff away from them. You know, stuff that is fun. You know, like fun. Like mechanics that are fun, and that's a lot of things that a lot of companies always do. They take stuff away and then the game becomes, I don't know, stupid. You know, they take like GTA for instance. You know, they have this vehicle from the war arena, and it was the only vehicle of this monster truck thing. I guess it had bulletproof windows, and everybody paid for it. It was crazy expensive. I think it was like what, 6 mil, 7 mil for this stupid vehicle, and people bought it. I bought it because it had bulletproof windows. 100% bulletproof. You buy it, you grind it for the money, or you use your shark card, you build it up, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing you know, a month later, Rockstar nerfs it. No more bulletproof windows, so it's not special anymore. Now it's like all the other stuff. Now it sucks. So hopefully this game doesn't fall into that loophole. I don't see it happening. I can see that they're gonna add probably weapons. I can see them adding weapons. Like depending if they have crafting, they can definitely have something where they're gonna probably every maybe season or
Recipes.
something. Like in Diablo, how they have the season. I think they're up to season 8 or 12 now or something. I can't remember. I lost track.
It's like 23 or
But
something like that.
23. Right. So they're gonna add stuff. So it's definitely something that, again, if you're like a working person, or you have a family or whatever, you can come back, play, do whatever you have to do, with your friends or whatever, or match make. You don't have to go into the stupid website and find guardians or whatever. I hated that process. That was so annoying. And so I don't know. I think the game's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be a good game. I'm not gonna overhype it, just in case, just not to smear it or anything like that. I'm not gonna overhype it like like Cyberpunk, like some people were doing. Everybody knows that. You can't, don't lie about it. Everybody was saying Cyberpunk's gonna be the next GTA Online. It's gonna be revolutionary. Yeah, but in the beginning, remember we talked about it. We pointed it out. We said something just didn't seem right.
Mm-hmm.
Something just didn't seem right about it. Something just, we talked about it, and well, unfortunately, it went south. For whatever the reasons are. It just didn't go good, and it's pretty looking. When it works, right, on a PC.
Yeah, I mean,
So
Cyberpunk is a PC game.
yeah, it's a
Anybody that
PC
thinks
game.
otherwise, man, you need to get off whatever you're on, man. Cyberpunk is a PC game. Period.
Yeah, it's definitely a PC game, and it looks. I think it looks great. Hopefully, they fix it and everybody can enjoy. But I mean, man, if you're on the PlayStation 4 and stuff, man, I think you might have to either go PC or try to transition into a PS5 or that Xbox, that new one, whatever. Unfortunately, I think a lot of companies are gonna start doing that. Even stupid GTA, they're gonna have that enhanced edition. So I don't know if they're gonna sell it to you again for $70 again. Rebuying GTA 5 again.
They will.
GTA 5 Online times what is it? GTA. It'll be GTA 5 Online Part 2, right?
Yeah.
Enhanced. Yeah, with a purple dildo or something on it. But
The GG edition.
yeah. So who knows if you're gonna have to buy that again? But I think definitely people might have to start transitioning because, like this game, Outriders, it's probably, you know, gonna be, it'll look okay on the PS4 and the old Xbox, but you probably want to get like the best bank, the best looking stuff for, the best bang for your buck, I guess. That's say it, I guess. And I think that you might want to pull the trigger and, for those out there to, try to upgrade your stuff, just if you can, you know, uh, because I don't know, I don't trust these companies too well. And usually when they, again, like the cyberpunk stuff, I was gonna buy it too. Actually, I was gonna buy the collector edition, but luckily was sold out. But I know a guy who bought it. Uh, bought it on eBay. Actually, they paid like, I think it was like $600 or
It's
500 or something. He
crazy.
said, yeah, to get the statue, whatever the hell it was, with that dude, the main character that his Johnson glinches out from his pants. so so yeah, but I mean, it is what it is, and if you bought the collection edition and you feel robbed, I've started to hear that, man.
Yeah, and this game isn't going to have anything like that either.
Yeah, there's really no collection edition. You just get, you're getting what you're getting, and I think that's a good. I mean, it's been a long time that this sort of stuff, a game has been presented this way. Now, even Final Fantasy VII, if you bought the $400 one, you came with a cloud on a motorbike, and I mean, the game was okay. It was good. They changed it. It was. I think it was. I enjoyed it. Didn't hate it at all. It was pretty dope. But $400 just to, what are you gonna do with it? I guess look at it, put it on your table, and admire it.
Take pictures and put it on Instagram. I mean, what else are you going to do?
Yeah, put it on Instagram, right? Do selfies, I guess. But so Outriders won't have that. So you just going back to the old school gaming. You get what you paid for. You log on, you start shooting, you start killing shit, covered in blood, and call it a day. So I think the game is gonna be good.
Yeah, I agree, man. I really think that, Outriders has the potential really to really stand out from the rest of the pack. As you see on the screen, right? It's going to be on everything. It's going to be on PS5. It's going to be on PS4. It's going to be on Steam. It's going to be on Series X. It's going to be on Xbox One, Stadia. It's going to be everywhere, right? And the fact that it's a cross-plat game and a cross-play game, or multi-plat game and cross-play rather, I think it's a very, very important selling point for the longevity of a game, because that means that the ecosystem for the game at launch is going to be, fairly substantial, right? I mean, there's going to be people playing this game, so you're not going to have a hard time finding friends and making new friends to play. And if you're playing online, everybody knows, man, the reason people play online is because they begin to network, they begin to make other friends, people that they link up and play with, people that are good, people that play like them. And I think the fact that this game is going to have that available right out the box on April 1st when it comes out is super important, because as long as there aren't any issues, right, with the servers or anything like that, because I think it's a P2P game, right? It's a peer-to-peer. And so as long as there isn't any issues with that, and this game is smooth online and there aren't many glitches or bugs, this game, I'm telling you, man, like, I would be surprised, honestly, if this game got less than a 7.5 in rating. Just off what I'm seeing right now, right? Obviously, we need to wait to see we get the finished product, the final product, and have it in our consoles or in our computers. But based on what I'm seeing, I would be shocked if this game got less than a 7.5. If this game gets 8.5 or higher, we're looking at probably the next big thing, right? And I say that in terms of what gaming is now. Gaming is something that is being shared all over the world with streaming, right? People are, how many times back then, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, people would play games, and sometimes you would have friends come over. Like I remember hanging out with you as a kid, man, and we would be playing, you'll be playing Diablo, or you'll be playing Unreal Tournament, and I'm just there watching, and it's cool, and if I get to play, cool. But now, you can just watch anyone play. And so I think this game isn't built towards that, but I think the fact that we have that available now, I think that's going to help it shine. And I hope it does, right? Because from what I'm seeing, I like what I'm seeing. I just hope that it doesn't get lost in the wind, right? It doesn't get lost, in the voices of the people that might have a particular way that they want this game to be. I hope that they listen to the right people, and they don't have to listen to everybody. As a developer, it's very important for them to know that you don't have to listen to all your fans, because some of them just don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Period. And so I think that this game has the potential. It's just a matter of the people playing it, right? The people playing it the right way, the way that it's supposed to be played, with the items and the percentages and knowing how to use those items and build and have their builds. I think if we do our part as gamers in the gaming community and people that stream and make content, I think that this game has a potential to be a big sleeper and very successful. And I hope to see it, because I like what I see, and the games that are out there now are dead. Destiny, I don't care what anybody says, that game is dead. If you're crazy and you like playing those sort of games where you're playing the DLC for 2 months and then stop playing for 6 months and then come back, you need to check yourself, because that's not right, man. No game or no company should be doing that to you.
Wasn't the last DLC just a week? Like, I think I've seen some videos that people beat it like in, I don't know, 2 days or something. Like they were saying,
yeah,
because their editing time, it was like 2 days. Or
yeah,
it was pretty much nothing.
So I beat it super fast, and then after that, it's just a regular grind as always. So what changes?
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. Like I said, Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So I mean, if we've been getting bamboozled by Bungie and Luke Smith for this long, man, when are we gonna learn our lesson, man? So the hell with that, man. I'm done with Destiny, as far as I can tell. Outriders is coming out. I hope it doesn't meet my expectation necessarily, because my expectations are high for these sort of games. But I hope it's the sort of game that at launch it does what it's supposed to do, and it just keeps getting better as more people play it. That's all I want to see, and I think we will. But like I said, anyone that's interested in playing this game, it's on the screen right there. It's going to be on every platform. There will be a demo coming out on the 25th of February. I will be playing that, so stay tuned. We'll be here on YouTube and on Twitch. And yeah, any last remarks, Steph?
Oh no, everything is good here. Again, hopefully the game does good. Hopefully it makes people happy and enjoy the this new adventure, right? That what's it called? What are they called again? That company? Flying? What's it called? Flying?
Oh, people can fly.
Yeah, people who can fly, whatever. Hopefully they do keep to their word. Hopefully they don't. I read a few articles. Actually, I didn't read a few. I read a bunch of articles, but they seem pretty straightforward, and I think that's good. No messing around. It's like buying a car. You don't want to be hackle around and invest in something sucky, and in the end you feel like crap because you feel like you wasted your time. And
buyer's remorse, bro. Buyer's remorse is a motherfucker, man.
You start telling yourself, hey, I bought this game, it's so cool. But unless you have the money, to burn, you buy the game, you're like, oh well, $70, whatever. A lot of people don't have that, so hopefully the game keeps to its word and doesn't pull a Cyberpunk. And then they're bowing down saying, we're so sorry, sorry. Please forgive us. We didn't mean to. Yeah, you did. You know all about it. Not only that, you were showing false. You know what makes me more angry? Before we go, it's actually people blame the developer and all that stuff, but they should blame other people as well. And that's the part. Like, I'm not gonna name any names, but they had people lying to their fans, flat out telling them, man, I played the game. Well, we can't show you footage, 4-hour footage, Yeah, I mean, like, who knows how much they got paid, and whatever. Good for them, I guess. But I don't think I see people who can fly, whatever the hell they're called. I don't think so. I think the game's gonna be good, and ALIANZ knows me, like I like to criticize games and say they, they're fucking garbage.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck either, bro. I say what I gotta say, and if you don't like it,
you don't like
who cares?
That's you. I think this game's gonna be okay. I'll put my, I won't put my, my approval seal yet, but I have a good vibe from it, so I think it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it's a game that we can't give our approval yet, but it's a game you definitely should keep your eye on. And then once
Yeah,
we get the demo, we'll go ahead and do an in-depth preview, right? Because we can't give a review on a demo, right? You can give a preview, but we definitely will do an in-depth preview of the demo when it comes out. Hopefully, it will also have the cross play enabled as well in the co-op. So if anything, we both could play, and we'll give our feedback as soon as we're playing it. So hopefully, it will have that enabled, for the demo.
yeah, I think they will too because of they have to stress out. They have to do a stress test and all that stuff. See if their servers are capable. Well, not their server there because this is peer to peer, right?
Yeah, I think it's P2P.
So they're definitely gonna. But we don't even know if the characters are gonna be saving our console or not, huh? So maybe
Right.
they're safe server side. You have to make a profile and all that crap.
Yeah, so nobody tries to
Maybe.
use an editor on PC or anything like that.
Yeah, the one can Wizard, whatever that's called, PlayStation Wizard, whatever the hell that shit's called. So you can't edit shit. Kind of like what they used to do with Monster Hunter. That's what they were doing, man, with these people with their infinity items, man. Shit was crazy. But anyway, yes, I think the game's gonna be good. I think so. It won't pull a Cyberpunk on you.
Let's hope, man. But Seth, I appreciate you being here with me today. I appreciate your expertise, especially with so many years playing RPGs. So we'll definitely be back, folks. We'll be back. Stick around. Sephiroth is definitely a member of GBL, one of the founding members. So he'll be around more often now if we were going to be playing Outriders. So I really appreciate you being here, bro. And yeah, that's gonna do it for today's show. So.
Hopefully next time we're gonna reach out to Keanu, see how he feels about his face being on Cyberpunk. So, no, yeah, we're gonna what do you call it? Twitter him and see like how he feels about it and see how he likes it.
Yeah.
He might pull a John Wick or something. Who knows? But yeah, we're gonna ask him and see what he says. Yeah, if he replies, that'd be kind of nice. But we'll see. Gotta poke fun on him, right?
Yeah, I mean he put his face on a pretty
he
bad
kept
product.
telling you, well, how does it go away? What's the stupid thing? He's like, welcome to Sin. What's the stupid city called again? Future City? Crap City?
I don't even fucking know.
You gotta talk like him too. You're like, welcome to this bullshit city. Buy my game.
Buy it now. It's gonna be
Now,
great.
Matrix.
Yeah, right.
He's probably depressed, sitting in a bus stop like in 50th Street or something. Like they always show him with his head down.
Yeah, taking mass transit and shit.
Be like, bro, you all right, man? I can get you something. You all right?
Yo, I'm sorry the game's broken, bro. You gonna be all right?
yeah. I know you were looking forward to it, man, but sorry. I bought
man.
the game though, but I returned it.
And I got my money back too.
I really did. I bought that shit. I returned it.
Fuck that.
Didn't even
game.
install it.
I was so close to buying it, and I'm just glad I did it, man. I'm just so glad I did it, man.
But hey, the good thing is you didn't buy the collection edition for $400 or somebody, and now they have it there, on their PS4 too. They were telling me, man, it works fine, man. It works fine.
Right.
Yeah? Everybody's telling me it's not working for them. I mean, magically yours works. Okay. It's not even a Pro. It's the regular. It's the old school PlayStation 4.
It's impossible.
Yeah, dude. It's like the first gen. Yeah,
it's impossible.
He's like, it works fine, man. Oh, I don't have any problems. You're like, really? Well, you're lucky. But anyway, that's enough of that.
All right. Seth, thanks so much, man. And everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate you all being here. Thank you so much for your time. This has been ALIANZ, of course, for Gotta Be Legend and Gotta Be Legend TV. This has been Gamer's Opinion, Episode 3, the Outriders episode. Stay tuned. We'll have more on this game as, of course, it becomes available. Remember, the demo will be out February 25th, right? So a little over a month. Stick around. We'll have it here. And yeah, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll see you soon. It's been ALIANZ for Gotta Be Legend. Peace.